What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew, and wasn't that a dream ride? What we just saw from the Cats in the qualifying final of 2024. We smashed the Port Adelaide Football Club. Let's bring up the scores here before we discuss things any further. It was the Cats 2018, 138, beating the Power 7-12, 54, a comprehensive 84-point hiding from the Cats. And it's fair to say that even the most enthusiastic, most ambitious of Geelong supporters probably didn't pick this. I tipped Geelong, but my head was saying Port, my heart was saying the Cats, and then I had a feeling in the pit of my gut that said the Cats as well. And so I went that way. But honestly, it felt like a coin flip for the most part. That if Geelong came and fired and we played the right game, we were going to be good. But then when the word came out that Tom Stewart was out for illness, hamstring, he's been listed as illness. The report was hamstring. I don't know where we're at in that case at the moment. But I started to get a little bit wobbly and a little bit anxious, and I thought, oh, hang on, this tips things the wrong way. But we got the points. We absolutely obliterated the Power. And as a Geelong supporter, I am so unbelievably stoked to see that. And he's hoping that with a home prelim final against either Sydney, GWS, Brisbane, or Carlton, that we are setting ourselves up for another tilt at a surprise flag. It's a crazy thought. But before we get into the game here, I want to take a moment to acknowledge our brand new sponsor, Cyril Cook Florist.
The Hoops Crew Media Network is proudly sponsored by Cyril Cook Florist, established in Geelong since 1915. Visit their website at www.cyrilcookflorist.com.au. That's Cook with an E. Give them a call on 035 222 2244 or mention the Hoops Crew to get yourself 20% off your next in-store purchase when you visit them at Shop 12, 11 Leather Street in Breakwater.
Thanks a lot to Cyril Cook Florist for supporting the Hoops Crew, and we look forward to continuing to work with you going forward. Now, let's talk about the game a little bit here. There's a whole lot of things that we want to pass through here, whether it's the team stats, the individual player stuff. It's good reading across the board. So let's begin by talking about some team stats. Geelong dominated, and especially in the second half, what the leads, the gains that we already had just extended even further into that second half. And so the Cats smashed the Power in disposals, and we're not a high disposal team, but we completely neutered their ability to get the ball and claimed a lot of it ourselves. We played a great kick mark game. Our inside 50 game was really, really good. Every single time we had the ball, looked like we were going to do something positive with it. And it's such a good sign going into the rest of the finals. We got our tails up with that hiding against the Eagles. I was a little bit worried about what the bye is going to do for us. Not an issue. We absolutely crucified this mob, and it was so good to see. Starting to give me echoes of 2007's grand final. I thought it was 119 points on the agenda here. It was getting that way at different stages. But honestly, the things that I think should excite all of us as Cats fans going forward is absolutely the ability to get our hands on the ball and prevent the opposition from doing it. But it's that efficiency. The disposal efficiency was high. Our efficiency inside 50, which is where we can kill teams, was incredibly high. I don't know if it's a season high for us, but it was right up there. Like, that efficiency inside 50 is ridiculous in the modern game. The free kick count, look, that's what happens when a team kind of essentially rolls over and just starts to take it for the rest of the match. The tackles were easy. Everything, the ball was bouncing our way. Everything was going Geelong's favour, right down to the free kick count, which is crazy when you consider we're playing interstate. And just that natural crowd bias swings things a bit, but nah. We just didn't let them in. It wasn't that we were getting stupid free kicks or unreasonable free kicks or anything like that. We tackled hard. We put the pressure on. We were always first to the ball, and so arms slipped over shoulders. It was all the right things that you want to see that justify free kicks, and none of the Tiggy Touchwood stuff, which was awesome to see. The stoppages, awesome to see that, like, despite the fact that Reece Stanley was beaten in the actual one-on-one ruck contest, that our clearance numbers were good. The centre clearances, we expected to kind of probably to lose this. It wasn't necessarily a strength, but the way we rebounded was brilliant. The way we pressured was awesome. And so the delivery inside 50 was poor. And that links back to, again, that efficiency inside 50. And the disposal efficiency being down as well is the fact that we prevented them from disposing the ball in a way that suited them. We nipped Butters, we nipped Rosie, we nipped Wines, we nipped Jason Horne-Francis in the bud when it came to the greatest strength that Port Adelaide has, which is their ability to clear the ball. They got plenty of it in the centre, but they could not do much with it. And where we really outplayed them and outsmarted them, I think, was in the clearances around the grounds by sending an extra person in. Shawnee Manor was one of those that I noticed there more than most, piling in as, the centre clearance, not much you can do. It's 4v4 and it is what it is. But from that point, Sean Manor kind of piling into a contest or someone else getting free and piling in through a contest and just putting speed on it and just making sure they're making contact with the ball to just push it forward. Because that's where Port kind of shines, is their ability to just push forward as well. But if we're outnumbering them, it gives us a greater chance of extracting the ball from there. And we did a really great job with that. Massive props to Sean Manor, who was an important part of the win last night. Continuing on from there, we've discussed, kind of links in pretty heavily with the possession and the disposals and all those sort of things. They're pretty well intertwined. Turnovers, we were so clean with the ball. I'm surprised Port's turnover count is as low as it is, considering the disposal efficiency, but no worries. Possession for the match, 47% versus 35. The final quarter, 49 versus 35. And the last 10 minutes, it was just, we buried them late, and they kind of rolled over at that point. The marking game, again, we played that really well as well. All linked in with the possession count. Marks inside 50. We delivered the ball so incredibly well inside 50. And this was a big point of discussion for me going into the finals, is that we needed to deliver to our forwards properly. And we did. We lowered the eyes. We hit it. We respected the leading targets. We weren't bombing it from 80 to about 20 meters out. We were putting it either really deep, right onto the goal line, or we were lacing someone out on that, that lead that's, 30, 40 meters out and allowing them to have a proper shot. Our efficiency in front of the sticks, not so great. That's something for us to work on over the course of the next 2 weeks, though. And I'm talking specifically about the set shot game. The scoring then just mirrors everything else. Port, to their great credit, had nearly a minute and a half where they were in the lead there, but we quickly eradicated that and then just marched on. Tackle numbers, pretty good considering the dominance that we had, but we, despite the fact that Port was losing so comprehensively, that we had so much of the ball, they still couldn't lay hands on us. Well below their average, well below our average, well below the season averages for probably all clubs. Very poor on their part. Tackles inside 50. Their defensive pressure was good, but we managed to clear the ball so well. We positioned ourselves in such a way that we could get tackled, hit someone up with a handball in the process, and then, dump kick out or lace someone out going the other way. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Let's not make too much of the bounces. Max Holmes was doing it for fun. The 1%ers were great as well. Interchange, nothing to see there. And so those are the team stats that really, I think the thing for me is the way we approached the Port Adelaide midfield and the way we decided to play that game, the way we used Sean Manor and those sorts of guys, the way Reece Stanley was always buttering up for the contest once the ball hit the ground, gave us that extra body, gave us some speed, gave us some momentum, and we really outplayed them in that realm, despite the fact they did ultimately lead the centre clearance figures. Team stats, let's talk about it. If we go to disposals first, we need to acknowledge some absolute high flyers from this game, being Max Holmes, Paddy Dangerfield, Zach Guthrie, who just... we've already spoken about the midfield impact and what Max Holmes and what Paddy Dangerfield and what Sean Manor were doing through that space. But the likes of Zach Guthrie with the intercept possessions and the way he rebounded was sensational tonight. In the absence of Tom Stewart as a midfielder or a defender, the fact that he wasn't there put a little bit of extra pressure on Zach, and he stepped up to the plate incredibly well, delivered in every single regard. It was awesome to see. Brian, we've touched on some brilliance today. 3 goals as well, few clearances, goal assists. His goal assist game was great. Sean Manor, same sort of story, brilliant in that respect. Both of them as small forwards, kind of come midfielders, just were absolutely exceptional today. Lawson Humphries getting the job done in his first final. It was awesome, and I'm going to shout this out now, considering all of the talk about Geelong fighting tooth and nail to get a couple of extra really low-end picks for Asava Radagalier when he left for Port Adelaide. One of those picks was Lawson Humphries, and what are you saying now, Kane Corns? Lawson Humphries was absolutely exceptional. I think I don't know if it ended up the final case, but at one point there, his disposal efficiency was 100%. It didn't end up that way. Where did it go? 80%. So he must have, torched a little bit later on. But when it mattered, when the game was really on, he was hitting up targets, advancing us up the ground, doing all the right things. It was brilliant to see from him. Let's cycle back to disposals there. Let's filter out Port because honestly they did nothing all night. Jeremy Cameron was explosive as a forward, playing that game that we love to see, and his tail is up in a big way. That is very dangerous for every team that comes against us from here on in. The midfield unit is so consistent, whether it's Tom Atkins, whether it's Jack Bowes, whether it's some of those that I've already mentioned. Mitch Duncan was fantastic. It was just such a complete performance. There's no weak links here. Jed Hughes did an amazing job dealing with the small forwards of Port. Oisin Mullen did a great job in his first final as well and still lacking experience. And I was a little bit concerned when it was him coming in for Tom Stewart and not Sam de Koning, but he was brilliant as well. No one, this was a complete team performance. It was exceptional to see. Zach Tui obviously came on pretty late as the sub, and I'd imagine right now is running a few laps just to get his kilometers up. Sorry, Zach, but it's nearly done. You're nearly done with all this, and you might walk away with another flag the way things are shaping up. That's all I want to discuss from this game. What an incredible performance from the Cats. I'm still stunned by what's happened. And for context for people, I'd booked myself in for a show. I was heading out into the city and seeing a concert that particular night because I didn't think the AFL was going to line up a Thursday final. And then what were the chances it was going to be Geelong? Okay, I guess if it's Thursday night, no worries. I'll book myself in. Then all of a sudden we have a final and I'm missing the game. It was so awesome to see the score updates and then to sit down once I got home at 11:30 at night and start rewatching the game. What a treat. What an absolute treat. Now, we've got to butter up and do it again against our prelim finalists, whether that is Sydney, GWS, Brisbane, or Carlton. I am very excited to take on whoever that is at the MCG. That suits us, I think, more than GMHBA has this year. But whoever it is, bring it. At this point, and I don't want to get too carried away, but there is no reason why we cannot feature on Grand Final Day at this particular point in time. I'm excited for the prospect. I hope you are too. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Check out all the Hoops Crew content on the YouTube channel. Visit us on Patreon if you haven't already. The Patreon, you can sign up for 7 days. You get full, free, exclusive access to all the stuff that we have tucked behind that paywall for the cost of $0.00. Then, after those 7 days, if you're enjoying it, stick around for the cost of $5 or $6 for the entire month to get a whole lot more. We're on socials at the Hoops Crew. You can find me at Paul James Games. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's a good time to be a Cats fan. What is it, 14 out of 18 years that we've gone to the prelim, that we've had the double chance. This football club continues to astound me. I'm so proud to be a Geelong supporter, and I hope you are too. Port fans, good luck in your game next week against either the Dogs or the Hawks. It's going to be a time for you, I suspect. The pressure's building, and I hope they can deliver because I like Kenny Hinkley. I want to see him succeed. Not against us, but I want to see him succeed. So we'll see how that works out next week. But anyway, Cats fans, that's enough for today. Check out all the awesome stuff post-game live. The chaps will do their reviews. The AFLW is this week, so there's more to check out there as well. Remain Geelong strong, and I'll see you later.